Hey guys, what's up? My name is Brian Lovelace. I'm the founder of NaviUpgrade.com. Today we're in my buddy George's 2015 Focus ST with Sync 2. We're going to upgrade his car to Sync 3 using our easy Sync 2 to Sync 3 conversion kit from NaviUpgrade.com. Check the link in the description to purchase this product and install it in your vehicle. Let's get right on into it. For this project, you're going to need a trim tool, you're going to need a T25 Torx bit, and you're going to need a T8 Torx screwdriver. Let's start tearing this thing apart. So the first thing that we're going to start doing is we're going to pull off the trim around the shift boot. Should just pop off just like that. Set it aside. And then what we can do is we can take our T25 Torx screwdriver and remove the screw right here. And then find a safe place to keep all these screws down here. And then the next thing is we're going to remove this passenger airbag warning light. This is going to be the most difficult part of this task, so bear with me. It might take a few minutes. Oh, look at that. This one wants to come right off. So the idea is you want to get it as out like that as possible. Then you can grab one edge and then just kind of pull it out. There's a clip right here. Just clip it from the top and it'll pinch right off. All right, now this leaves 4 T25 screws down here. We'll start with these guys right here. There's one more right there. And then you've got 2 more that are up here just like that. Probably not gonna be able to see it, but that's okay. All right, so you don't actually need to remove your shift knob or anything for this. If you do have an automatic transmission, you'll just need to pop this trim piece out and you'll be set. But we're just gonna lift up here. And then this should just kind of pop back just like that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take our passenger airbag warning light and kind of tuck it back up into, sorry, I might need to move this back just a little bit. This is always a pain in the butt. We're gonna try and tuck it back up into this Sony trim right up here. And that's gonna make it so we don't damage it when we pull off the Sony trim. All right, now we're good. Now we can just lift up from the bottom here. It's gonna take quite a bit of pressure. Hate this part. You might actually want to shift into a lower gear just like that. And then you're just gonna pull from down here and it's gonna jolt up just like that. And then you can kind of swing it back. And if you wanna get back here. So and then there's a clip for your hazard light right here. And then sometimes these are a little bit difficult to remove. So I recommend getting like a small screwdriver or something like that and sticking it into the clip. Come on, there we go. Now it's out just like that. And then we've got a second clip right down here. And then we just pinch it just like that and it'll pull right out. We can set our trim aside. We will be using it again. So if you don't know if you have Sync 2 or Sync 3 already, this is the best way to find out. If you click the home button, it's pretty obvious. It's got these like 4 quadrants. It's got your compass, power, sometimes nav if you have a nav set up. And it's got your radio or Bluetooth and then phone stuff up there. So this is Sync 2, we're gonna replace it with Sync 3. All right, so the next thing that we need to do is we just need to remove the 4 screws that hold in the screen. Set these screws into a safe spot. All right, now your Sync 3 setup your Sync 2 setup will just pull right out. Kind of want to lift up just a little bit up top there. And it'll pull out just like that. Now, you can see we've got our 54-pin APIM connector right here. We push down on the tab and then swing this latch back just like that. Then we can also unpinch this and that'll come right out just like that. And there we go. Sync 2 is out of the car. Now what we need to do is we need to take our T8 or T9 sized Torx screwdriver and we're going to remove the brackets off of this and port them over onto our Sync 3 display. We'll start with the right one. Might take a little bit of force to get them done there. All right. So that'll come off just like that. we can grab our screen and put this on the right side. So the way you can tell the bottom from the top of the screen is that the bottom has this little ridge right here. So we'll just put these on. As you can see, there's these little nubs that the brackets line up into. All right, now we'll take the left side off of the Sync 2 display. You can set your Sync 2 display aside now. Get the bracket aligned with the little nubs on here again. Get them screwed down tight. All right, now all we need to do is we need to connect up our 54-pin APIM connector. So it'll be in a position like this. All we need to do is stick it into the slot and it'll start moving backwards. And we just push it till it locks. Then we take our USB and then in the black port right here, we'll just slip it in. Sometimes these are a little bit, there we go, hard to align, there we go, and it clicks right into place just like that. Now what we need to do, got a little bit ahead of myself, is we need to grab a GPS antenna. So we'll grab our GPS antenna and then we'll come back here and we'll connect it so that this little tab is facing downwards. Just like that. And it'll click right into place. Now what you can do is you can unpeel the sticky pad on your 3M sticky pad on the GPS antenna. And then what we can do is we can take it back here, and then right next to the gauge pod back here, there's not going to be a gauge pod in an SE, but you can just kind of stick it up back up there, kind of right next to this gauge pod here, and you'll be good to go there. And you can just set your screen back into place, and we can start reassembly. All right, so remember 4 screws along the edges of the screen. And you know, we can actually turn the car on to test it beforehand. As you can see, it's booting up with the ST screen. When you purchase from NaviUpgrade.com, we'll actually make sure that the unit is programmed for your car before we send it out. So you give us your VIN number and we'll program it and get it all situated for you so that you've got a perfectly working unit. Nice, that's all nice and taut there. We can grab our trim controls panel again. And then we'll come back to the back here and we'll get it all plugged back in. So we will plug this in here. And then we'll also feed our, this is very important to not forget, feed our passenger airbag warning light down through that hole right there. And then this is going to come back in and we're just going to click it into place. That's our hazard warning light. So make sure, come back down here, make sure that your passenger airbag warning light is through. And then actually, forgot to do one crucial thing, and that is peel the digitizer screen right there. And we can finish getting this into place here. So just push with some nice firm force. And we can now scoot this guy back, just like that. Make sure, again, that your passenger airbag warning light doesn't get caught behind here. And then we just kind of click it into place, nice and firmly, just like that. And now we can replace the 4 screws here and the single screw down here below the shift, below the shifter. I'm going to start with that one because I forget this one the most. Now we can take our passenger airbag warning light click it back in, and then kind of feed it back up in there just like that. And then that'll click back into place. Now we can take our boots around here, and then we can kind of click this into place. So the motion of this one is a little bit funky. So you kind of come at it where it's in line with everything, and then you kind of just slide it into place just like that. Then you click this into place, and that's the way to get this off without damaging anything or bending any tabs. All right, so the last vital piece that you'll need to install Sync 3 and get Apple CarPlay and Android Auto working in your car is going to be the Sync 3 hub. This is going to be a single port for the 2015 model, but if you have a 2012 to 2014 model, you're going to need the one with dual ports. And the reason why is because this car has an auxiliary USB port, and that means that we've got one input and one output from here, so no dual USB. So let's get on into replacing the hub that's in here with this guy right here. So to get this USB hub out, what we need to do is we need to take out these tabs right here. So I've got a small screwdriver, and I'm just going to kind of pry up on these tabs from the bottom. You might need to jam them in quite a lot, and then it'll flip up just like that. All right, so I misspoke earlier. You will need a T20 screwdriver bit for this part. So now that we have these tabs folded up here, we can actually stick our screwdriver down in there and get it aligned up, and we're going to remove these screws. They might kind of stick in there a little bit, that's okay. All right, now that we have those screws loose, we can go to the back of the car. So what we're going to do back here is we're actually going to grab into this cubby tray back here, and we're going to lift up on our armrest here, and we're going to pull from the bottom down here very, very hard until you hear a pop, and then this will come off just like that. And now what we're going to do is there's a hub right here, and all we need to do is push up on the hub until it pops out the top here. And now what we can do is we can just pinch right here, and there's one USB off, and then we have that hub power connector off, and then we have one more down here, and that'll pinch off the same way. It's a USB as well. All right, now that I've got my new USB port here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take our power adapter harness here, and I'm going to click it into this right here, and I'm going to feed this with the USB marker right there towards the front of the car, and I'm going to feed it down into the hub hole again. So I'm going to take this right here and just plug it in just like that. And then now what I can do is I can feed these USB ports up through. And now what you can see is we've got the two USB ports right here. And what we're going to do is I'm going to reach around just like this, and I'm going to take our USB hub, and the one that's diagonal from here is always the black connector. So diagonal from this port right here. And this is always a little bit of a tight squeeze. So we'll try to get this guy in here right there, just like that. And it's clicked into place. Now we'll get our gray connector up through the bottom here in just a second. Our gray connector up through the bottom here, and then we'll put it into position just like that. And then we will slide it into place. And it'll click into place just like that. Make sure both, you hear a nice click when you put it in. And now, like I said, this USB icon facing towards the front of the car, and we'll just rest it down into place just like that. Now we can just put our back plate for our cubby back on here. And to do that, what we're going to do is we're just going to, there's a bit of a floor mat in this car, so we're just going to kind of pull up on it just like that. And we're going to fold that down, and then we're gonna put some firm pressure just like that on there, and we can start putting the 2 screws back into place on the other side. So both screws fell out into the cubby when they wouldn't come out here, which is perfect. That's just what we needed. And this might be a little bit difficult to align, so I recommend trying to get it started with your fingertips just a little bit. And that one's done. We can fold that back just like that. We can start this one right here. Jeez. Couple threads started. And it's locked into place, and we can click it down just like that. So yeah, let's get this car started up and let's see how Sync 3 works. All right, so as you can see, we've got Sync 3 with navigation on this vehicle. He's totally set up with navigation, and it works perfectly with his entire Sony setup. And yeah, so now he's gonna be able to, do you have your phone on you? Yeah. Let's see, if he plugs in his phone now, and then now what you can see is this is how you get CarPlay working. So you plug in your phone, unlock your phone, and then hit continue, and then agree. And then we can turn that on. And then, as you can see now, when it boots up, he can use anything CarPlay related in his car for maps, for navigation, for music. And then one of my favorite things is that when you use your voice commands, it'll actually use Siri. So you can ask, hey Siri, let's go to downtown Los Angeles.
Getting directions to downtown.
And it's as simple as that. So much more responsive than previous. So as you can see, the touchscreen is so much more responsive than Sync 2. And you've got access to your music, maps, phone, anything that you need to do is all on your screen. And if you need to go back to the Sync 3 display, just click that and you're back there. All right, so that's how you install Sync 3 into a 2015 Ford Focus ST. This is gonna work with any Ford Focus, this is gonna work with any 2015 Ford Focus that's set up the same way. If you're in Europe, your car might have Sync 2 later down the line, so like maybe 2016, 2017. It's gonna be the exact same process as this. You're just gonna wanna make sure that if you get a navigation module, you're gonna wanna find one that has 64 gigabytes that's set up for Euro maps. So yeah, I hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions, please drop them below. I'd really appreciate you hitting that like button, and consider subscribing to the channel if you like this content. And yeah, if you want a Sync 2 to Sync 3 upgrade, hit up naviupgrade.com and I'll take care of you. Until next time, take care.